Wholesaling Houses in New York show. I am Michael Pinter, where I teach you how to start flipping or wholesaling houses, or if you're already doing it, how to grow your business. I get this question a lot, and someone asked it, and I thought about just sending him videos on it. I've dealt with this a lot, but not in a while, so I'm going to deal with it now. I feel very strongly about it, as you may infer from the following 10 minutes I'm going to talk about it. So the question is, can you wholesale on market properties? Basically, can you wholesale listed properties? And I'm going to tell you that while it is possible, I strongly recommend that you never, ever, ever do it. Now, a couple of things. If someone sends me a deal and it's listed on market, my hair is looking nuts. The first thing I tell them is don't ever send me listed properties, right? I don't want listed properties. I don't want to deal with it. They are almost always a waste of my time. We're going to talk about why in a minute. And I believe that if you are trying to wholesale on market properties, you are being lazy. You don't want to spend the time to make the difficult calls, and maybe you don't have the money for it. Maybe you think you don't have the money for it, but you don't want to spend the time and get rejected up the wazoo that standard off-market property marketing does. Sorry, my fruit cup just fell. And you want to take the easy route of just looking on the MLS and seeing something that you think is a deal, which probably isn't, and you want to say, hey, I can wholesale this. So let's talk about a couple of factors. Number one, if someone sends me an on-market property without a real... Now, I have wholesaled maybe 3 or 4 listed properties, on-market properties. But they were always a specific situation. So I remember one time something came out that day that was really underpriced, and I told them I'll pay like $5,000 less than asking if you don't even show it to anybody. Right? And it was well below. So very, very rare. So if you got a property that came out that day and you think it's well below, I'll do a little research, but probably it's not. See, here's the key. The MLS is a very, very efficient system. It's very efficient. So if a property is asking X and you think it's that at X price, it's a deal, it's very unlikely that it won't get gobbled up by an end user right away. Now, are there factors involved? It's terrible condition. It's a terrible location. Yes, possible. But here's what I know. You show me an on-market property listed for X dollars, and it's been there for 3 months, I'll tell you what I know about it. You don't have to, any property. I know one, it's not worth what they're asking. It's not worth what they're asking. So somebody's asking $400,000 for a house, 3 months it's in there, not worth $400,000. Now you could say, well, maybe it's such bad condition that nobody will buy it. There is a price for it, right? The way I'm discussing now is the way I've been thinking about real estate that I think anybody who's going to be successful in this business has to think about. There is a price for everything. So let's take an example. The property has an uncooperative tenant inside and no one can get inside. Okay. There's a price for it, right? You drop the price by $150,000, I'll probably buy it, depending on the details. So, and where it is. Location is also important because it's the 5 boroughs in New York City. It could take 30 years to be evict right now. So if it's not selling for X, it's not worth X. So if somebody comes to me and says, hey, they're asking $380. I think I can get it for $375. And I'm like, I know it's not worth $380, right? Now, even if, let's say it's worth, let's just pick a number. They're asking $400 and you think it's worth, and the guy said he'll sell you for $350, right? And you can buy it for $350. Here's the thing. I know it's not worth $400, right? I know it's not worth the asking price. It's certainly worth less. I can't pay what it's worth, right? As investors, we cannot. I use this line, and my lead intake team uses this line. We're in the three magic sentences, the most beautiful sentences ever spoken to a seller. We're investors. We have to buy properties at a discount to make a profit. We're probably not a good fit. When you say that, sometimes people get a light on their head. Oh, of course, right? I had a seller yesterday say, I want this for the property. I go, listen, I'm not moving into it, right? You might be able to get that if you sell it to somebody who's going to move in. I'm an investor. I'm not moving in. I can't pay what somebody moving in would pay. I have to buy properties at a discount to make a profit. It's very, very reasonable. Makes a lot of sense. So if somebody sends me an off-market property and says this is an on-market property and says it's a deal, I'm probably going to say to him, listen, never, ever send me on-market properties again. If it's listed for sale, I don't want to see it. If they send it to me twice, I'll probably block their phone number and never speak to them again. Because we all have the same amount of hours in the day. You, me, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, we all get 24 hours a day. If we sleep for 8 of them, then we all got 16 hours a day. If you're going to waste my time because you're too lazy to actually do the work, to call, text, or market to people who are likely to sell the off-market properties, don't waste my time with bullshit on-market deals. I think it's a complete waste of time. So now, does it happen occasionally that a seller will call me and say, hey, my property's listed for sale? First thing I'm going to say is, we're probably not going to do business. And they go, why? Blah, 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 blah. What do you mean? And I'm like, listen, I am an investor. I have to buy properties at a discount, and we're probably not a good fit. Now, sometimes I say that, and they go, no, I need you to come over anyway. That's a good sign, right? So I had a deal. I've spoken about it a lot. West Hempstead. We're asking $699. And she calls me, and she goes, I want you to see it. And I said, listen, in 3 minutes, I said, you don't need me. Just drop the price to $599. Your property is probably a $600,000 house. She goes, I want you to come over anyway. Music to my ears. I go there. House is not in bad shape. Not in bad shape at all. Sorry. And I end up buying it for $450. Right? We negotiate $450. Own it 2 days. Found the buyer for $575. Didn't make $125,000 because I have cost to buy, cost to sell, holding costs. But it was a great deal. Now, if you say to them the magic sentences and they still come back to you, that's great news. But if it's just an on-market deal, it's a waste of time. Now, I have a question. If their asking price is the same they seen on Zillow, is it even worth pursuing? I could not give two shits if their asking price is half of what Zillow says. Whatever their asking price is, that property that doesn't sell is not worth it. If Zillow says it's worth $1 million and they're asking $500,000, it is still a waste of time to me. If it's been on market for 60 days, it's not worth it. Now, it might not be worth it because it's terrible condition and you need to buy it much cheaper. It might be not worth it because there's 14 tenants in there who you're going to have to get out. Whatever it is, I don't care. I could not give two shits about Zillow. I could not give two shits about what you think it's worth. If the property is listed for a decent amount of time and hasn't sold, it's not worth anywhere near that number. And I can't buy it. Not on market, that's just they're asking. Now you're in a whole different world, Ash. I mean, if they're Zillow is not a reliable indicator of value, right? Everybody who's doing this in New York needs to either be licensed and use the MLS. I think that's the best way to come up with value, or at least get access to PropStream, and then you can sort of compare it to Zillow and Trulia and all that shit. But that's not a great way to figure it out. You could be off by $100,000. I bought a property once. The Zillow value was off by, I promise you, I'll even give you the address if you want, $1 million. Zillow said it was a $2.2 million house, more than $1 million. Zillow said it was a $2.2 million house. I went into contract like an idiot at like $1 million, and guess what? It sold for $850. So Zillow is not reliable. Zillow doesn't know the condition. Zillow doesn't know about school districts. Zillow doesn't know shit. So don't use Zillow as a factor. Right? If you're in certain areas, in certain homogenous areas of the country, you can use it as a tool. You can use it as a tool here, but you cannot make an offer based on Zillow. You need to use the MLS, the multiple listing service, which is why I recommend everybody get licensed. Everyone who's doing this. It's foolish not to. But if you're wasting your time on market properties, more power to you. Knock yourself out. I'm sure there are places. And guess what? There was a time, right, in 2008, 9, 10, not in New York, but in other parts of the country, where shit was being put on the market by banks, and you could buy it and then just turn it around and make a profit. There was a time like that. I never, ever experienced that in the New York City area. Ever. Now, I bought properties at auctions, but never listed on the market. Once they listed on the market, they was gone. So I cannot express enough how strongly I feel that if you are in this business and you are spending any of your time on market properties, you are pissing your time away. You need to market to off-market sellers. That is the way to make money in this business. I cannot express it enough. So I hope this was helpful. If you're interested in all the ways I can help you, go to howtoflipnewyork.com. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe. If you're watching on any media channel, please click the thumbs up. The likes really help the algorithm. More people get to see my videos. Keep the questions coming. You know, I'm going to answer questions multiple times. Truly, sometimes my answer changes. This one doesn't. But I've dealt with this topic before several times, and I don't mind dealing with it again. So keep the questions coming. I post 5 times a week. I don't always know what to say. Your questions not only give me topics to think about, but they also let me help you because you have a question. I want to answer it. So thank you very, very much for watching. And you can ask a question about anything. It does not have to be about the video you're watching. It can be completely off topic. If it's something new, simple, I'll just reply with an answer. If it's something that I covered very recently, I'll send you links to videos. And if it's something new or that I haven't covered in a while, like today, I will do a brand new video on it. So thank you very, very much for watching.